Hi friends, welcome to the Mastermind Moments podcast.
Hosted by your pals, Josh and Sasha.
Join us during our weekly mastermind as we collaborate on how to make the most out of our lives.
Not only are we going to mastermind our careers, we're going to work on all areas of life together.
Let's do it. Listen in as we make the most of our mastermind moments. Hi. I know it's I can't even tell you how much serotonin is flowing through my body right now to see your face. It is so good to see your face.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the exact same way. I was like, oh my God, dear God, I hope that we can record today because I feel like we both are just...
You mean you hope I don't pull out?
You know what? You never know. Sometimes I need to pull out too, once in a while.
Yeah, like 1 in 100. It's okay.
That's totally okay. It's fine. Yeah, I know. It's like, it's been such a long time and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many big life transitions happening for me and for you. And I'm sure we both really need this time right now to just reground and center and just have therapy, basically.
Yeah, and you have no idea the timing of this. I've just had an entire bomb go off, metaphorically, in my apartment, and it's fucking crazy. It's fucking wild. So this couldn't have come at a better time. After how many weeks? It's been a while, right? It must have been. We haven't recorded since I've been back from India.
No, we have not. So
here we are.
It's been a while. Yeah, we got a lot to catch up on. Before we get into all of that, let's spin a wheel. Okay. Mental health. How do you stay connected with others to support your mental health? Thoughts?
Something I'm struggling with at the moment, clearly. It's definitely not cancelling on podcast recordings over and over again. I honestly, genuinely though, away from jokes, I am actually struggling with this a bit at the moment. So I may have to delegate this to you first, because I'm so busy at the moment. I'm so busy and life is lifing and life is good. Like, I'm not complaining, but I just don't have the time. I'm not putting time aside for friends. I am going out and seeing friends here and there, but nowhere near as much as I want to be. And maybe that's just my body and my brain adjusting to being so social previously, and now suddenly I'm like more focused on work, and that's very alien to me. So yeah, maybe can you answer that first, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you stay connected with others to support your mental health? This is something that, first of all, something that comes to mind immediately when you're saying this is, I was listening to a podcast the other day. I don't know if it was Layla Hormozi or her husband, Alex Hormozi, but they were saying sometimes getting to the goals and achieving the goals is doing the boring work and saying no to things and having a really imbalanced life for a while and really putting your energy and time into something. And it's something I've been thinking about myself because I'm taking this huge leap and going to be self-employed starting end of the summer. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wow, I'm really going to have to be a little bit imbalanced for a while. I'm really going to have to maybe say no to some of the socialization in pursuit of my career just for a while. For a season of life, the imbalance might be there, right? It's a normal piece of leveling up any area of life, right? We can see it with health too, where it might look different, where you are really wanting to focus on your health and maybe you're saying no to the pub crawl, but you're saying yes to a gym workout or something like that, where it's imbalanced in that moment and you're prioritizing one area over the other. Not to say that I'm sure that the numbers are all averaging out. It's just you might be going down on the friends and up on the career right now. But I'd say for me, because I haven't had imbalanced time with career, at least. There's been imbalanced times with other things like physical environment. Last year, I was traveling nonstop and other areas definitely sacrificed, like my physical health was sacrificed last year. But it's different. The one thing I've always managed to prioritize because it's so important to my mental health is my relationships. I've always maintained my relationships. And I think it's one of those things that I feel really proud of myself that most of my friendships, if not all of them, are long distance. All of my family relationships are long distance. And I think I've mastered the art of nurturing a long distance relationship, and something we've talked about where every single relationship is different, but sometimes it just makes, for me, it's like a matter of setting aside time to reach out to those people. For me, with my feminine cycle, and it's a little bit different, right? So you're not doing this, but for me, every time I'm ovulating, I have it on my to-do list. Like when I'm ovulating, I'm going to reach out to both sides of my family, just give them a quick little update. Like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Even if that's like 10 minutes, and reach out to one random loved one that just comes to my mind. But even now, if I'm not ovulating and it's the rest of the month, I make sure that there are certain family members where I'm like, I know I have to talk to them multiple times a week just to make sure that I'm maintaining that relationship. And I just honestly put it on my to-do list. I put it on my to-do list to call my grandma twice a week. I call her every Tuesday and every Friday. And for me, it's like a 5 to 15-minute call. And I can do that while I'm doing something else if that's putting away clothing or just anything else that doesn't really require me to be there in my work, and just take that 10 minutes and just reach out to her, because I know that 5-10 minutes of my life is making her life infinitely better. Or it's like every Friday I text my aunt and be like, hey, Friday check-in, how are you feeling? How are you doing? And I just honestly put it on my to-do list because sometimes I forget and it gets too goddamn busy to,
Yeah.
to keep up with it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's something that I've tried implementing, and my to-do list, my habit tracker has become, my Bible over the last few months. It's been like amazing for me and for building routine and building habits. It's very important to Sevita that I build a relationship with her parents. Obviously, I've just spent a couple of months there, and the relationship improved tenfold with both of them, in a different way to what I was expecting, but that's besides the point. The contact outside of that trip had to improve, or has to improve now that I'm back, because it wasn't there before. I wouldn't call them. I used to have it on my habit tracker on my to-do list every single week to call her parents, to talk to her parents, to talk to her family. And it was always, I can flick through my habit tracker now, and every single week it's not ticked off. It's the only one on the page every week that's not ticked off. And now I've come back, and it's the first. Well, I spoke to them in the first week, but last week, the second week back, it was on there, and I didn't speak to them. And so it's hard, and I did apologize. I actually wrote to her sister last night, and I said, I'm really sorry. I've just been so busy settling back in with work, with building the business, with just everything, and it's just been really intense. And I'm sorry. Like, I will call you guys this week. I haven't been able to just settle down. And as I said to you, I've barely had the chance to even speak to Sevita, let alone other people or other commitments. So to-do list is a good idea, but it's about the discipline to stick to it. And for some reason, there are some things, as I say, I stick to that to-do list religiously, but there are some things that I put on there that just never get done. Never.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm such a social animal, and I've also come back from India, where I've just been with my partner for 6 weeks, with her family, who is so loving. And I've come back excited to see my friends. And in the first week I saw a lot of my friends. I was really busy socially. But since then, it's heated out because I've been overflowed with work, overtaken with work. And I'm like, damn, I'm struggling to fit in the social time at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think at this point in your life, your priority is career. And I think it's okay to be a little bit imbalanced for this season of life, right? Seasons of life. I think it's okay to be a little bit balanced. But I will say on top of that, maybe it doesn't look like a call. Maybe setting aside that time and scheduling that time, because there's a time difference too. That's always very challenging. Maybe it doesn't look like a call. Maybe it looks like sending a video message. Maybe it looks like sending photos. Maybe it looks like sending a voice message. I think we can get outside of the box of it has to look like a call, because that way it has so much scheduling and adds that extra layer of logistics on top of everything else. In this season of life, it might look like something else, where it's like, hey, I'm going to send you a video where I'm telling you an update about my life, and I'd love to hear about yours, and I'd love to see photos. It's just scheduling the time is so difficult right now because I'm so busy. And I would even reiterate to them too that I don't know how they're feeling about it, but just be like, listen, I'm right now so focused on my career so that I can really make sure that I can get Sevita back to the UK, and that I can start providing a life for our family and start really building out our generational wealth to just take care of everybody. And you might need to reorient it where it's like, I'm so focused because the long-term vision of this family altogether is dependent upon how focused I am right now while you have the opportunity. And I think it's going to be okay that it's a little bit unbalanced, because you know your priorities. and you got to stick with it in order to achieve the goal. Balance is difficult, and it's never going to be balanced all at one time, right? We always know some areas are going to be up, some areas are down, and social is one that's naturally up for both of us a lot. But sometimes I think you and I are going to both be going into a season where it's career heavy and taking maybe the socialization takes a little bit of a back burner. And I'd also say on top of that too, I know it's something we were talking about before and it's something I'm experiencing right now is, okay, you're taking a look at the people in your life. Maybe it's a great opportunity to take a step back, have the socialization on the back burner and work on yourself and increase your own frequency and your own vibration so that you're attracting different types of people, because I know you weren't really feeling super connected to your peer group anyway. So it might be like a really good opportunity to go internal, focus on yourself, be a little bit unbalanced, focus on the career, build yourself up, and attract people that are more aligned to you later down the road when you have a little bit more space to play with these different areas. But I don't know. I'd say we can get creative, and also I think it's okay to be a little bit off kilter right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's just taking some time for me to get used to, just because I'm such a social creature. And
Yeah.
before I went away, I was extremely social. I was extremely social in India, although that had its difficulties, which I think we spoke about. And now I'm back. I had this craving while I was away because I felt like I lacked that social connection because people couldn't understand me or whatever. And I was desperate to see my friends, and I came back, and actually it's a really interesting thing that we obviously haven't spoken about on the podcast because we haven't recorded since I've been back. That I went out with these friends and they were saying things that made me feel like it's kind of confirming the fact that I need to kind of move away from these relationships. Crazy things like, and I think I sent you a screenshot of one of them, of a friend basically laughing at the fact that I'm claiming that I'm building a brand, or just laughing at the fact that I'm building a business. And I'm getting this all the time. And I went out with a couple of friends a couple of nights ago, like Friday night. I went out for some drinks, and two of my closest friends who have, since I started posting on social media, posted really silly comments underneath. They're never supportive, just like silly stuff.
Yeah.
And they pulled up my page, and they were reading, basically the purpose of them pulling up the page was to read all the mean comments and laugh at them. It was quite a funny exercise because it's like laughing at the haters because they're not
Yeah.
going to get to me. But I've had no support from any of these friends. And then on the flip side, I went out with another group of friends who I'm really trying to integrate myself more with. Yesterday, I went to this festival with them. And honestly, the only reason I went, I hate the music. I'm not a drum and bass fan. It's not my vibe. It's not my crowd. I went, and I said this to Sevita, to network actually with these people and to get to know them on a deeper level. And I'm very close with a couple of them already, but just to integrate myself more. And
Yeah.
they were asking me all about the page and giving me tips on how I can build it even better. One of them works for a major talent management agency, focuses on social media, so he knows all about it. And I was like, the difference in this compared to where I was on Friday, crazy.
Yeah.
It's a big eye opener, and you're right. I think in that transition period, going to another level in every area, but from a business
Mm-hmm.
perspective, building my finances, building my spirituality, social actually is taking a back burner, and that's okay. But it just feels hard on me right now, especially considering I don't really have much human connection right now. I don't live with my family. Savita's not here. If Savita was here, I wouldn't be feeling this at all. Like, I just feel this
Yeah.
kind of weird loneliness that I haven't felt in a long time.
Yeah.
But I think I'll just get used to it. And Savita will be here in a couple of months. If I can just battle through, I'll be fine.
Yeah. I think just spend these next couple of months being a little unbalanced, like taking social and maybe putting it on the back burner. And maybe it's not about quantity, maybe it's about quality, maybe it's about not what you say yes to, but what you say no to. Because whatever you say no to, you're opening up other space for other things. Maybe the friends that aren't supporting you and building this brand, like maybe you say no to them or just go to less stuff and open up that space to be working on your business or be recording the pod or be doing whatever else you want to be doing or connecting with people who are actually supporting you. Maybe it looks like focusing less on the quantity and more on the quality and being a little bit imbalanced and being okay with that, because also you have a golden opportunity before Sevita gets back to really focus.
Yeah.
And when she gets back, it's going to be harder. Like, as nice as it is to have your partner there, like, it is time consuming to spend time with your loved ones. So you have a really golden opportunity to right now to put your head down and just hustle and grind it out until she gets back. And
Totally.
it's unfortunate and it's a little off balance and it's a little weird mental health wise, but I think it's like seasons of life.
Yeah, no, 100%. I completely agree. And actually, just to answer the original question, because I was thinking about in the past, obviously, I've been very good at it to work on social in relation to my mental health and what that looked like for me in the past. And maybe I need to implement this now is um, setting myself a weekly goal of how many times I want to socialize that week. Obviously, make it realistic, but make it so that I will feel fulfilled at the end of the week. And
Yeah.
so I know maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, I was feeling a little bit lonely. I wasn't feeling great with my social life. I was busy with work at the time. And I decided to set myself a goal of 4 social activities that week. And I think just by having it written down, I inadvertently hit that goal. And people
Yeah.
reached out to me, and I put that energy out there and I got it back. And
Yeah.
I ended up socializing 4 times that week. And it was
Yeah.
nice. And I felt really socially fulfilled at the end of the week without burning out because I kind of set that boundary for myself. So
Yeah.
I think that's my answer to that question 17 minutes later.
No, I totally see it. And it might look like this time making a goal of one high quality
Yeah.
social interaction in person, and then maybe 1 to 2 high quality social interactions, maybe one with Savita's family, one with your own family, something like that, where it's just okay. Or maybe like some long distance, I don't know, pal other than me, just like whoever. It's definitely seasons of life, and I think it's going to be a little wear and tear, but you can for sure get through it. What's happening with this bomb that was being dropped? What's
Oh my
happening
God.
since you got back? How's work? Tell me everything. What's going
Yeah.
on?
Work is good, honestly. I'm enjoying it, and it's my boss said to me it's like a duck to water. It's like riding a bike. I didn't forget how to do it. I was a little bit rusty for a few hours on the first day, but it's exactly as it was when I left a year ago, and I did it for almost 2 years. I've got that muscle, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a really good time. The first couple of weeks, it's been yeah, just over a week now, and it's a little bit frustrating. I'm getting my own clients for a while, and I pushed for that. I was like, listen, I'm not a new starter. You can just give them to me. You don't have to wait. You can trust me. I'm proving that I can do the job now by doing other people's work. Just give me my own clients. And I was told that it could be very soon, middle of June, or it could be a couple of months. And if it's a couple of months, that's pretty shitty, to be honest, because I'm trying to save up at the moment, build my savings back up after obliterating them on this trip, and I have very important things to be saving up for. I've got a big things coming up in the near future. So I really hope I get the clients soon, but I'm not particularly worried about it at the moment. I think if I keep doing what I'm doing and proving myself, they'll be like, we have to get him his clients.
Yeah.
That's all I can do on that. As I said, we just discussed this. I've been feeling lonely. That's been the biggest issue for me, is just this kind of feeling of sadness, emptiness. And I didn't feel this in the first 3 months before going to India when Sevita left.
Yeah.
But I just, since coming back, I feel like there's this void inside of me. I
Mm.
really, really miss her. And you know I don't cry. We've spoken about this on the pod before. I cry at the most ridiculous, stupid movies. I've cried multiple times over the last couple of weeks,
Oh.
and just out of nowhere, it's like grieving. This is like
Yeah.
the emotional kind of like sadness side of grieving that I've never really experienced before. I'm
Yeah.
not,
Your body doesn't know the difference.
no, no, exactly. But I didn't get this in the first 3 months, and yeah, it's a weird feeling. But I just suddenly have this overwhelming feeling of sadness, and then I just start crying, and it's a very alien feeling. But it's in a way it's quite nice to know that I'm
Yeah.
feeling that, and I am going back to India in a few weeks. Did you know this? We speak about
I
this?
did.
Oh,
Savita
did
told
she?
me.
Okay. Of course, you were
For
speaking.
all the For all the listeners out there, Savita and I have now started our own friendship where we're voice
I love
messaging back and
that.
forth because I was having such a void missing Josh. I think she was too. And we're like, let's just chat.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
you are. I'm glad you are. But yes, I'm going back in a few weeks, which is insane, but it actually is a really nice thing. It's a blessing because it means that the time apart is broken up. It was originally going to be 3 months. I was going to be there for a couple of months and then another 3 months. But now it's 3 months. I'm there for a couple of months. Another month, and I'm there only for 3 days, which is crazy. But but I
Yeah.
get to see her, and that's the most important thing. And then she'll be back hopefully a couple of months later. So yeah, but it's a weird feeling. It's alien to me, feeling this loneliness, this grief. It's been tough, and especially with that lack of social connection over the last week or so.
Yeah.
But then to take it to another level, I was at this festival yesterday with a bunch of friends, had a great time, and I actually ended up leaving early because it just didn't feel the same without Sevita. I wasn't enjoying it as much as I would if she was there. And earlier in the day, and actually I've just realized that I'm going to shoot myself in the foot by telling you this story because I know
Okay.
exactly what you're going to say. But I, fuck. Checked my
Say the thing.
I don't know how it works in in the States with like your bills, like electric bills and stuff. Do you have meters that need to be read?
Yeah.
Yeah, in like houses. I have a meter that
Hmm.
needs to be checked every now and then, and my electric provider got in touch with me and said we need the updated readings. So I went and checked it and I was like, holy fuck, that's huge. Like that is abnormally large. It shouldn't be that big over the course of 2, 3 months. There's no way.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my mum about it, and she was like, "That's the same energy consumption as I would have in my 6 bedroom house, and I live in a 3 bedroom small apartment." So I was just baffled, and I wrote to our group chat. Mistake number
Oh
one.
no. Oh no. Oh
But
no.
I
Oh
ran
no.
this message. I know it shouldn't be a message, but I ran it. I ran it past my mum. I ran it past Sevita, and they were like, "Yeah, it's fine." I ran it past them before sending it. And I basically just said, "I've had a bit of a shock. I'm not blaming anyone, but just to put some ground rules in place moving forward, to ensure that this doesn't happen again. I've turned the underfloor heating off for the summer. It's so fucking hot here right now. It's so hot. So there's no need for underfloor heating. Like I said, I've turned it off for the summer, and under no circumstances are electric fan heaters to be used because I think that's what spiked the energy bills." And I get a message back not long after, about 3 p.m., from my flatmate, who has been a nightmare the whole time. She's been horrible. Again, I don't know if I've spoken to you previously about how I felt bullied by my two flatmates. It's just been since,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
since
think you were
since
just
they've
saying it was
moved
feeling a
in,
little.
they've ganged up on
Yeah.
me pretty much. So she writes back, and every single thing I've asked of her or them, she's fought back. There's never been okay, yeah, sure, that's fair enough. She wrote back and she said something along the lines of, "I'd love to talk to you about this in person. Are you free this week? Let's have a chat about it." And mistake number two, I then went back and I said, "Yeah, of course we can have a chat, but I'm not really sure what about because I'm not blaming anyone here. There's no defending to be done. I'm not blaming you guys. I just need to make sure this doesn't happen again because this is going to cost me a lot of money, right?" She
Yeah.
doesn't reply. I'm at the festival. I checked my phone a few times and I was like, okay, I'm going to put it away now and not worry about this.
Yeah.
Uh, I leave the festival at about 10 p.m. and I check my phone, and she sent a message about 10 minutes before that, so around 10 p.m., saying, "Hi Josh, please take this as my 4 weeks notice. I She's paid a security deposit, which is 1 month's rent basically. She said, "You have my security deposit. Please use that for this final month's rent." And I was like, damn. Okay, I was expecting her to leave soon anyway because I was going to kick her out when Sevita comes back. But I wasn't expecting it now. And it throws me into trouble a little bit financially, just in terms of, yes, I'll be able to find someone new, but then there's going to be a void period and it's a whole thing. And also, that security deposit, there is damage to the apartment that she's done. That's what that security deposit's meant to be for. And yet now that's suddenly her month's rent. And I went back to her and I said, "That's not how it works. I will need you to pay rent. The security deposit is for damage and you will get it back in a month, provided there's no damage, blah, blah, blah." I get home at about an hour later and she's gone. she's not even waiting a month. She's gone. She'd moved every single thing she owns out. She'd moved everything out of her room, out of the kitchen, out of every appliance. She'd taken her bike. She'd taken her car. She must have done multiple trips back and forth. And her family lives about 10 minutes away, so it's not too far. But she must have done multiple trips. And the original message she sent me where she said about how she wanted to talk about it this week, she sent that at 3 p.m. So between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m., or sorry, 3 p.m. and 11 p.m., she had moved everything out. And I was like, damn, I walked into the flat and I was like, okay, this actually, it feels like I have my apartment back. Like all of her shit is gone. There was so much clutter. And I'm a very minimalist liver. I like a tidy apartment. I don't like shit being out. And it's one of the things we fell out about a long time ago is that I don't want clutter. And
Yeah.
it was all gone. And I was like, it felt like a weight was off my shoulders in a weird way. Even though I'm in trouble a little bit financially because of this, it's just nice to have my apartment back.
Yeah.
The next morning, this morning, I get a long message from my other flatmate who is in India at the moment. And she basically says, I don't understand how the energy bills are so high. Can you show us what the increase is so we can try and understand? I'm happy for you to remove the electric fan heater, but if you can find a suitable replacement. And I went back and I was like, there's no suitable replacement. It's the summer. We can have a conversation in September when the weather gets cooler, but you can't have a fan heater this time of year. And then she writes me a long message, and she did pay her rent today. It was due today. And I woke up and saw that, and I was like, phew, thank God she paid it. But then she sent me a message saying, can you send me the rent back? I will be leaving in 4 weeks. Please take this as my 4 weeks notice. Can you send me the rent back and use my security deposit as the final month's rent? And I said, no, that's not how it was. And you've shot yourself in the foot by sending the rent. So anyway, in the space of about 12 hours, I've lost both of my flatmates. One of them, the second one, she will be coming back from India next week and she'll probably stay for the rest of the month. So that's going to be a very hostile environment, which is not going to be pleasant. But yeah, it's crazy. Like out of nowhere, and they were complaining how I've had too much, I've asked too much of them, which I really haven't. And the irony was that she was complaining later as one of the reasons why she's leaving. She said the apartment is too hot at this time of year, like it's really hot. And I was like, do you want the fan heater then? Because that's what this is all about, the fan heater and the underfloor heating. But it's too hot. I just, yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning feeling a bit of relief, but I said to Sevita, I felt weird and a bit gross. I just feel bullied. And this situation has ended. Their tenancy has ended exactly how the rest of it has gone, in kind of them
Yeah.
ganging up on me, them disagreeing with me. It's just been horrible for pretty much the whole time. It's been really unpleasant. I've had to hide in my room for a large part of it. It's not been nice. So yeah, that's been tough for the last
Damn.
day or so.
Oh my God. I think we're just gonna keep learning the lessons here because which round of roommates is this? 3 or 4?
No, this is the second one.
Oh, okay.
But I had issues with the other two as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The
I
lessons there, and they keep punching me in the face because I don't change. Do the same thing every time, and I literally just realized who I was telling this story to right at the start. I was like, shit, she's the one that always tells me not to text.
Yeah, and to be fair though, it sounds like this text doesn't sound, send it to me because I want to read it, but it doesn't sound bad. It was just like, hey guys, the bill is higher. We're turning off the heating for the summer.
Yeah.
Unless the tone, and you had it checked by your mom and Sevita, unless the tone was really hostile, like I can't imagine like that would be bad.
No, this is the thing though with these two, especially the first one who left and she's gone, and I think I'll never see her again. I hope I don't. With the first one, I won't say her name, but she was literally every single thing I've ever asked of her, no matter how big or small, she's pushed back. She's never accepted it. And she told me a couple of months ago when we had this huge falling out that it feels like she's living under 24/7 surveillance. And
Mm,
I was like, I look back over my messages and I'm like, it's just not true. You just have a problem with authority. You can't take not having power. You can't take not having control. That's
yeah.
exactly what this is. And I'm asking very basic stuff, like the stuff that's just happened. I feel like most people would go, damn, I'm so sorry that you're having to pay so much more in bills. We will be more careful moving forward. But there's a pushback every single time. And so, I
Yeah.
know I'm not the problem, but the problem here is that I feel bullied. And
Mm,
it really doesn't help that it's come at a time when I'm really lacking social connection. It would be nice to have flatmates who I can lean on. But instead,
mm-hmm.
now for the next month, literally a month, when she gets back, so it'll be 3 weeks, and I'm gone for 3 or 4 days, it's going to be really hostile. It's going to be really unpleasant. And it just etches that lonely feeling in even more. It's not nice.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see it like reinforcing the loneliness. And at the same time, like part of me is just thinking like there's no coincidence that this is happening
No.
right now.
Oh no, it's for
Like,
the best. Yeah,
yeah,
my plan was to kick them out mid-August around the time Savita was coming back. And then Savita and I would have a couple of weeks together by ourselves, and then I'd get someone in to join us in September. But that's gone out the window, and I think it also stings a little bit because it feels like they've morally, what, not morally, but they feel like they've won mentally.
mm,
They're the ones that have served notice. They're the ones that are leaving when I wanted to be the one to do that. It sounds so childish, but it's just like the mental side of things. And I know exactly what this girl, the first one, I know exactly what's going through her head. She feels like she has won, and it just
mm,
stings a little bit because they've been so vile to me over the last couple of months.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
It's interesting because at the same time, it's like, who gives a fuck who's winning and losing? Seriously, at the end of the day, meat suits on a big floating rock. Like, really, who cares?
exactly.
But but it's also just like I think in the grand in terms of your life and looking and zooming out just in general, and I think it kind of goes back to that first question we were talking about during the wheel spin was I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening right now in terms of your life, in terms of your orbit changing and who the people around you and your peer group and the people you're surrounding yourself is really drastically shifting right now. And I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening right now in this moment as you're coming back, as you're getting into this new season of life, as you're reevaluating the people in your life in general. I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening. And also, it was a hostile environment in general. You were ready to be done. And I feel like this was just maybe this is like very woo woo me, but I feel like this was the universe being like, actually, yeah, you need a refresh. You need to spend some time by yourself and focusing on yourself and spending some time in your career and heads down working and reevaluating who's in your life and who's aligned for you and who is not. And clearly, these people are not. So, okay, goodbye, see you never. And I think in the grand scheme of everything, like, I think it's almost like, yes, it stings that you didn't quote win, but also you had to, this all happened really easily without you having to be the one to be like, get out, you
Yeah,
know?
that's it exactly. But no, but I completely agree. I think that transition period is it's showing up in so many areas of my life, and I just need to acknowledge that. I'm such a firm believer in everything happening for a reason, and the path, the journey set out by the universe. And we have to take the lessons from that. And so that's always helped me get through times like this, is taking a step back and going, aha, that's why this is happening. It's
Hmm.
all part of the bigger
Yeah.
plan, and I need to look at this like that ultimately.
Yeah, big time. And also, let's take a second to also evaluate why it's stinging you that you can't be the one to put your foot down and have the power and quote win. Because at the end of the day, you're getting exactly what you wanted without having to be the mean guy
Yeah.
to kick someone out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is it a power thing that you're like craving, or what is that about that winning, that sting that's like
Mm.
really resonating with you? Because at the end of the day, you're getting exactly what you wanted, just maybe not in the timeline you wanted and maybe not the way you wanted, but this is exactly what you wanted. So like, why does it matter if you quote win or not?
No, I agree. I agree. It's something I need to think about. It's something I've had in the past with previous jobs, which you witnessed firsthand when I've had these explosions and I wanted to have the last word. With friendships, with fallouts, with the yes theory fallout. That's a major example of this. I had to have the last word, and the reason I think that bothered me so much, I wasn't friends with those people anymore. It's because they felt like they won. They got me kicked out of the community, and I had no say in that. They, in their heads, I know exactly what was going through their minds, and they felt like they won, and it stung me. Um, but why? That's a significance thing, right? It must stem from significance, but I'm not driven by significance, so why is it impacting me so much? Or maybe I am driven by significance.
Maybe it's just the way that you've been getting it in the past of
Mm.
like having the final, like having these blow ups and then having the final word has been an unhealthy way for you to achieve significance. Because I'm sure there are positive ways, and I know there are positive ways that you receive significance, especially starting this personal
Mm.
brand, having really close relationships with people, having everyone fight for your time. It's definitely great ways to get significance. But this one about the blow ups and then needing to have that last word, it's like it kind of reminds me of this adage. Is adage even the right word? It reminds me of this like, phrase that people say in marriage where it's like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Mm.
Like, do you want to win or do you like it's who cares? It's not worth your mental space to be like, oh man, they got the last word. I didn't, who, whatever. You got exactly what you wanted. It sucks that it had to be this way, and it sucks that you feel bullied, and it sucks that you feel lonely. But at the end of the day, like, you got to let go of that rope because they're gone and it's a much healthier environment for you, point blank, period.
Actually, the biggest win is being able to just let it go, right? For I
Yeah.
know she's at home, probably feeling really pent up, and she's had this big life shift. I'm in my apartment. Nothing's actually really changed for me. Financially, maybe down the line, but I am in my home. I have my home back, and she's probably there going, Josh this, Josh that. Same with my other flatmate in India right now. And if I have the ability to just let it go,
Yeah.
I think I'm the
That's how
biggest
you
winner.
win.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how you win, is just let it go, and it's not worth your time or energy. And also it gives you 3 weeks to get that energy in the apartment back up.
Mm.
Just like going internal. Like I feel like the best way to increase your frequency and your vibration is go internal, work on yourself, get the good mojo going in the apartment. Get the good vibes, the good smells, burn some sage and like just get some music going, get the good vibes going in the house again, just so like to increase the energy and increase the vibration. And I think you'll start feeling like much better and be like, the biggest win is definitely to just like the biggest win is to be happy and let it
Yeah.
fucking go because you got exactly what you
No,
wanted.
for sure. No, that's it. That's it. It's something I need to work on. And I think that comes with mindfulness practice, actually, more than anything. So I'll ponder on that. I'm desperate to hear about what you've got going on because I feel like there's so much.
So much, seriously, so much. Great timing. I just, because I'm in this huge transition. I feel like we've been talking about me being in a transitional time of life for the last two
Yeah,
years.
true.
Okay. Even more than that, because I feel like even before that, I was like starting the business and moving to Miami. And I feel
True.
like I don't know. I guess maybe is this people's 20s where it's just,
I think
oh,
so.
year after year, it's just big changes after big changes. And you're just sorting everything out and letting all these puzzle pieces fit together and just trying to sort out how it's all falling together. And I guess that's what your 20s are. But I feel like it's been like big transition after big transition for the last 5 years,
Mm.
maybe
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. And even if you call it before then, still school, like graduating and COVID and all this, I feel like for the last however many years, my 20s has just been really intense. But I just got back to my mom's house this morning. I left LA last night. I have really mixed emotions about everything. And one thing I'm really glad I've been doing since the year started is I have this wheel of life chart where every single week I'm writing out every single it's like a graph, not a graph. It's like a table almost because I want to at the end of the year. Actually, I can. It's halfway through the year, so it'd be really interesting to see. I want to pull all the data, like a line graph, see like when was up, when was down, and why, and areas of life, like which areas are the best, which areas are not. I want to pull all the data and see what's actually happening. But one thing that has been interesting is I filled it out yesterday and I rated each area on a scale from 1 to 10. And I looked at all my areas since I was living in LA, and oh my God, most of the areas were 7 and above, 8 and above for the entire time I was in LA.
Wow.
And I think that speaks volumes to like why I know this is the right place for me. There were so many signs from God or the universe or whatever telling me that Venice Beach was the right place for me. But even just looking at the cold, hard data where it's every single area of my life with the exclusion of finances, every single area of my life is 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. And wow, I really love who I am here. I really love my life here. Things are feeling so good. So to look at that feels really cool. And I have really mixed emotions about leaving LA. I think on one hand, I described this to my mom where it feels like I was just at Hogwarts and doing my magic and my wizardry, and I'm leaving for the summer because I have a place booked for when I get back. I'm going back mid-August and moving kind of more on a permanent basis. I don't think I'm going to be moving everything because I'm not in my own space, but I already have my place booked for mid-August, so I know I'm moving back. I have the date. I don't have the flight yet, but I do have the date, and it's like, it feels like, okay, I'm leaving Hogwarts for the summer and I'm going and living with the Muggles and I'm going to go hang out with the Muggles and like, do my little Muggle life situation, get my ducks sorted, wrap everything up with my job, wrap everything up, and then go back to Hogwarts at the end of the summer and just heads down wizarding, head down, like, focus, focus, focus. And I have really mixed emotions about it because on one hand, it feels kind of like, I can't say for sure if it's my last summer break, but it kind of feels like my last summer break. Cause, even though I'm not breaking and even though I'm not going to stop working, like I'm removing myself from this life I was starting to build for myself. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to see my family. I'm wrapping things up with my job. I'm traveling. I'm seeing my friends. I'm working on all these projects and I'm really excited about this summer. And my intention is to be as present as possible just because I know that time is fleeting, time is ephemeral. And it's something I was thinking about too. I know I'm bouncing all back and forth between everything. So sorry about that. But something I was thinking about was, how much time in my life am I actually worried about the future? Not so much the past, but am I worried about the future where it's taking me out of the present moment? And how much of my life am I actually wasting worrying about things that I don't need to worry about? And I think a great example of this is, I think I do this all the time. Number one, with my to-do lists, right? Where I'm constantly worried about, oh my God, I need to get through this thing so I can get to the next thing on the to-do list and get to the next thing on the to-do list. And I rush through everything so that I can get to the next thing. And I'm so worried about getting to the next thing that I'm not slowing down, being present and doing the thing that I'm doing thoroughly and in a way I feel really, really proud of. I feel proud of the fact that I'm doing it, but not 100% proud of this is my best work. And I feel like I do that with my to-do list. And I also feel like I do it with my time. And I think that really came up this past weekend. My sister came to visit and we had a very busy day. We had the whole plan: sightseeing, brewery, go home, change, go to the Dodgers game, and then come back. And then I was going to meet up with the guy that I was seeing because it was my last night. I was going to go stay at his house. And I remember the entire day, I was just so worried about, we're walking back from our sightseeing. And I was like, oh my God, should we get in the Uber and get to the brewery because we're going to have enough time at the brewery? And are we going to get to the game on time? And I'm so worried about the time of everything happening in the day that I'm not actually being present in the moment. I did the same thing at the Dodgers game later that night where I was sitting there at the game and I'm thinking like, okay, we have this many innings to go. The average time is this. The Uber is, I wonder how we're going to get it. Where do we pick the Uber up from? I wonder how long the wait's going to be. I'm like so worried about the time
So relatable.
that I'm not focusing on the game. And I'm like, just be present right here, right now, because time is ephemeral, time is fleeting. And like, how much time am I worrying about other bullshit and trying to control the outcome of everything instead of just being right here, right now? And something, as I've been thinking about this, and it's also with time, and it happens a lot with timing, where it's like, I want all the timings to work out perfectly. And I'm learning this lesson hardcore this year, where timings are working out the way they're supposed to for a reason that I have no clue, and I'm not supposed to know. For example, with this whole Paris thing, we talked about this months ago, right? Where I wanted to go for the entire summer. And I was really upset that I couldn't go for the entire summer. But I didn't know that my work saying no to me for that. I didn't understand at the time that, all of these other pieces are falling into place the way they're supposed to. I was just so focused on, but this is the outcome I wanted, and this is the exact way I wanted it done. And if it's not this way, then fuck you. And I was like, no, that's everything is supposed to be lining up the way it's supposed to be lining up. Because now if you were to tell me like, oh, you have to go to Europe for the whole summer, I'd be like, oh shit, I can't do that. Like, I have to see my family. I'm going to move back. But I'm actually happy that I'm not going for the whole summer. So mixed emotions there. And something else I've been thinking about. I've been thinking a lot. Can you tell? I've been doing a lot of reflecting. It's also my period. So it's like naturally, I feel like I'm really in a reflective mood right now. Another great timing with this episode, like really in a reflective space right now. But something that I feel like I'm relating to you a lot right now with is the people in my life. I've encountered some family members and some really, really close inner circle loved ones, and just witnessing the differences in our mindset around negative things happening or finances or uncertainty with career or whatever, just different areas of life, and observing, being like, okay, I'm observing how you're reacting to things versus how I'm reacting to things, and I don't really love being in this energy right now. And thinking about that and being like, like, where is the balance between, okay, these are my close inner circle loved ones that I love and that I want to have relationships with, and at the same time I want to protect my own peace and I want to protect my own boundaries and I want to protect this magic that I've been conjuring, and I don't want external bullshit to get in the way of that. It's like, how can I find this balance and how can I be intentional about who I'm letting in my life? And I think it's getting better now where I'm saying no to, no, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to force my way into this thing. I'm just not ready, just not into it. And something I've been thinking about, especially this summer, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with my family, and I know I'm going to be getting a lot of criticism and maybe some judgment, and I'm going to be faced with a lot of really negative headspaces that I don't really want to absorb. And it's okay, how do I maintain my own mental sanity, my own magic, and my own boundaries to keep myself safe, while also being able to really enjoy my time with my family and be as present with them as possible, and my friends too. So I've been sitting on that, and I'm really happy that I have the summer to, my last day at my job is at the end of the summer. As of right now, it could change, but I gave them till the end of the summer, which I'm really relieved about because it gives me 2.5 months to really sort out my shit, to really make sure I have my ducks in a row before I give up a steady paycheck and I can just go heads down and work and get some things set up. And I feel like there's some momentum happening in my career with the podcast and it's feeling good, but and I'm feeling less stressed about that, but I'm also just happy that I have some time to sort my shit out and have some time to get everything sorted. So I'm feeling grateful that way. And it just kind of feels like the beginning of a summer break. I'm home and I'm just like, ooh, it's warm in New Jersey. I love that. That's fun. So overall, I feel like just have really mixed emotions. I feel really excited. I feel really happy to be here and to be seeing my family, my loved ones, and just really happy, really sad to be leaving LA and to be leaving this really beautiful, blooming bud of a relationship thing that I've been building for the last couple months. And I feel like I finally have found my spot in my home, and I'm like, was sad to leave it. I'm like, geez, I'm getting so good at ripping myself from lives where I'm happy and just saying goodbye over and over again. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why? Why am I doing this so much? I know why, but I'm just like, wow, I'm like really, I'm tired. I'm tired of saying goodbye all the time. I'm ready to land. I'm ready to land somewhere. I'm ready to build out my life. And it feels like this is kind of like that little period before. And yeah, so really happy, really sad. I feel really excited about the future and also really fucking terrified about the future too. So I feel all of it at once. As far as the romance stuff, I don't want to get into it on here. I'll send you a voice message about it because it's just, I have my own mixed emotions about that whole thing,
Okay.
but we don't need to chat about it on here. It's just all of it. It's just, I feel it all at once, but I'm just happy to have this season to reorient, reground, and just to be present in it and to really sort out my plan and my everything, just to have some time to sort it all out. But it's still a lot. It's a lot all at once.
I have a question with your job. Did
Mhm.
they offer to give you till the end of the summer, or did you agree to stay till the end of the summer? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I told them that I would give them that time for a couple of reasons. Number one, I love this team. I love this company. No one else has done this job ever. So I want it to be as smooth of a transition as possible for my team and for my customers. And second of all, I want some more time to get my ducks sorted. I want some more time to get my ducks in a row. And honestly, when I told them how much time I was giving them, they were so grateful. They were like, wow, you're really showing your dedication to the team and to the brand by giving us 3 months notice, that's amazing. So they were really happy about it. And I feel happy about it too, honestly.
Good. Yeah, it sounds like a perfect way to approach things. Because I know that you were a little bit worried, to say the least, about kind of the journey, the path that you were going to take. I think was the original plan a month's notice? Yeah,
That's what's in my contract.
right,
Yeah.
sure. So I think this kind of works out perfectly in terms of you can enjoy the summer. You can go through that kind of summer period of everything feels better in the summer, right? When the
hmm
weather is better, when you're traveling a bit, everything feels nicer. And I think that gives you a good platform, a good launch pad to launch from when it comes to
hmm
actually really taking the plunge in a couple of months. I think that's it's worked out really nicely, and it sounds like everything from what you've just told me is falling into place at the right time. And there are some things that it looks like they will fall into place later on in the summer and later on in the year. But everything is lining up. And I can see it so clearly. And I was so sure when you told me a month ago now about your plan. Well, no, not months ago. Yeah, a while ago about your plan to leave your job and to actually just take the plunge and burn the bridges. I was so behind it and I still am. And to me, this is just evidence that everything is kind of lining up and the way it should be. And you said it yourself. It's a really good thing to see. And I'm glad that you can acknowledge that because from an outsider's perspective, from a third person perspective, it's so clear to see. But also, not only life events falling into place, but your headspace. Again, maybe it's your gonna ponderous time of the month. But your headspace seems to be you're asking the right questions. You're going into things. I love what you were saying about worrying too much about things. I so related to that, and it's not something I think about very often. You know, when you're just thinking about what's next, what's next, what's next, what do I need to do now, what do I need to do now? I relate so much. I was literally the other day, I was thinking about, oh, I need to leave the game early because I need to get an Uber or I need to beat the rush. And so, no, just enjoy it in the moment. Stop worrying about these things. You worry about the thing when it's time to worry about it. Like when you're in the moment and something shitty is happening, then you can worry about it. Even then, try and let it go. But that's another
Yeah.
muscle to build. But we worry too much about things that are out of our control that we don't need to worry about, things that haven't even happened yet. The amount of stress that I felt this year in the build up to getting this job, I don't know if you remember when I was waiting to hear back from this job, I was
Yeah.
fucking going through it. I was having a
hmm
horrible time and I was worrying about nothing. It worked out. It worked out, and it always does. It works out how it's meant to. So it's a nice perspective, and it's something nice to be reminded of.
Yeah. It's like how much energy and time and headspace are we just wasting? Absolutely fucking wasting on worrying about shit that's gonna fall into place the way it's supposed to anyway,
Yeah,
timing wise. Seriously? Like, why? Like, why are we spending all this time worrying about it? I think about it with timing of trips and stuff where it's like, oh, I don't know what it's happening for my entire month of July. I don't know that timing yet. My mom and I are going to sit down and talk about it at some point, but it's I know I got to go to Europe in August. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going before this wedding I have to go to, but I'm like part of me is just like, you know what? I was worried about it for so long and I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. I know that whatever that right thing is going to be will just click and if not, I have backup plans and that's fine. And it's just, I don't need to worry about it right now. I just don't. And it's like when you're so worried about controlling the outcome of something exactly the way it's supposed to be happening, like quote, supposed to be happening in your mind. It's, oh, I wanted it to happen in this timeline and I want it to happen this way. And when you're so worried about it and when you're forcing yourself into that outcome in the way you wanted it, the timing you wanted, whatever, you leave no space for magic at all. And you also are leaning into the force energy instead of flow energy. And that it's just not working. I feel like the best things in my life have always been from a place of perspective of flow energy. And it's okay. How can I go more with the flow? Like, how can I release control and stop trying to fucking control the outcome of everything and just being okay with it and just being whatever. And another example of this too is this whole coordinating this Dodgers game situation. My sister, we were supposed to go to the Friday game instead and then spend Saturday. My sister was going to meet this guy, seeing whatever, all this. And they ended up switching the games. In my head, I was just like, no, it can't work that way. We already scheduled the game for Friday and our last night all together. We just can't do it this way. And I was being such a control freak, and I was like, got into a kind of a fight with my sister about it. And then I realized I'm just being a fucking control freak for no reason. No reason. This is the flow. I need to go with it. And it ended up working out so much better. It ended up being so much better. The people we connected with on Friday ended up being a much better group for the dynamic. Saturday was a fun game. It worked so much better when I stopped trying to force everything to happen on my timeline in the way that I wanted it to happen. Everything's going to happen exactly the way it's supposed to, and everything that you desire is going to happen, but it might not just be in the timing you wanted, and it might not look like how you wanted it to. If you know what and why, the when and how will be taken care of by the universe, as long as you're putting into action, right? But
exactly, just go with
I don't know. Yeah, for real. And it's just something I've been sitting on a lot in the last couple of days. I'm like, okay, not everything is going to happen right now. Not everything is going to happen and immediately. But how can I be as present as possible in this season of my life? Because it's when am I going to get this opportunity again to maybe road trip with my mom to visit her family? Or I'm going to go to the New York office for the last time and see my coworkers that I love and go to the city that I love and just enjoy that. Or I'm going to Europe 2 times and I want to really just enjoy and be as present as possible, because when else am I going to get this opportunity again?
Absolutely.
You know?
Just enjoy the moment, be present, and trust that the things that are meant to happen will happen, because they will. They will happen as they're meant to.
Yeah, big time. And let's just stop trying to control the fucking outcome of everything. I can put my intentions out there. I can say whatever the hell I want to happen, and I can know what I want in my life, and I can take action to go there. But the rest, chill out, bitch. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, control the controllables and let the universe take care of the rest.
Boom. Mic drop. Let's go. Oh my God. As always, I just feel a million times better.
Just lighter.
Yeah, for real. It's always just a breath of fresh air to have these podcast recordings to be like, oh my God. It feels so good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel that way too. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to us. We're sorry we missed you last week, but hopefully we made up for it this week. And we love you guys so much. And we'll catch you next week on Mastermind Moments. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and follow along on social media.
If you would like us to help you mastermind something in your life, please send us a message.
We'll see you next week on the Mastermind Moments podcast.